Right, a very good day to you all. My name is David Kwitambo. I just want to explain the relationship between the current heritage-based curriculum in Zimbabwe and the previous curriculums in Zimbabwe. Basically, as a starting point, I just want to say every curriculum works hand in hand with the current trends or current generation or current state of things in a particular country or particular nation. So, what am I saying? For those who think that the previous curriculums were not relevant, I think I appreciate their view because as a scholar, I have to appreciate other people's views. But I have my own view. I think those previous curriculums were really relevant because the outcome proves very well that those previous curriculums were really relevant. We cannot say that the previous curriculums were not in touch with the local environment. I don't think that's correct because they say those who go against the previous curriculums, they say those previous curriculums were Eurocentric. That is, they were centered on Western education or Western environment because they were adopted from the Western countries, Britain in particular, especially in the Zimbabwean context. Yes, it's true that the British were the ones who brought in the so-called Western education to Zimbabwe. Well, that one cannot be debated. That's too obvious because they were our colonizers. But take from this angle, the kind of education that they brought were very relevant because it was in line with the order of the day. And when they came here, they were able to teach us how to write Shona language, Shona spellings and the like, how to read Shona books, how to write Shona books. So Shona is not a Western thing. The writing aspect was the Western thing. So by saying when these colonizers came to Africa, they were all about, their education system was all about teaching us the Western aspects. Yes, of course, education is global. Even if right now we have those opponents that has something to do with the global world. We learn Zimbabwean things, we learn African stuff, and also we have to learn things that have relevant to the international world so that we have a place to fill, we have a vacant to fill in the global village. So there's need for us to grasp the global trends. There's nothing wrong about teaching our learners things to do with Africa, things to do with America, things to do with Europe, things to do with Asia, because we want to trade with those countries. We want to partner with those countries. So we have to understand them. What is wrong is to neglect our own Zimbabwean or African environment, which our curriculum never did. Those who went to school in 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, if you ask them, they'll tell you they learned about Zimbabwe, they learned about Africa, and also they learned about the world. There was no way in the history of education when the local environment was abandoned. There was no room for that. So it is a lie. Okay, I don't want to use the word a lie or false. I would like to believe that it is not fair to say previous curriculums used to abandon our local environment, because personally I'm an environmentalist. The kind of environment that I learned is Zimbabwean environment, then SADC environment, then African environment, then of course world environments. So I don't think it's fair to discredit previous curriculums basing on that argument, saying now the the heritage-based curriculum is now focusing on the local environment, which was never focused by previous curriculums. I don't think it's fair to have that claim. But what we can say is the current heritage-based curriculum, which I also strongly support, is now focusing more on the local environment. We can say the degree of focus. Let's increase the degree of focus. Because another claim, I've said the first claim is the previous curriculums never focused on the local environment. I've given you proof. We all, those who have studied in the 90s and those who studied in the 80s, they will tell you. We used to study the climate of Zimbabwe, agricultural regions of Zimbabwe, and also how to grow crops that are consumed in Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe, in the even soils of Zimbabwe, the fauna, the flora of Zimbabwe, the inheritance of Zimbabwe, we all know that. How? We all know that due to the previous curriculum. Then the other aspect of employment, people they say, we want to start the heritage-based curriculum. We're now able to teach our learners how to work in their local environment or jobs that are applicable in Zimbabwe. That aspect also was also applicable in the previous curriculum, because people who are working right now, they were educated using the previous curriculum, and we have seen Zimbabwean workers being marketable at global level and even in Zimbabwe. The crop of teachers that we have today, crop of policemen that we have today, the crop of engineers that we have today, doctors that we have today, lawyers that we have today are all a result of previous curriculums. And they've done justice in the labor market. So previous curriculum, or I don't know how many were they, but that I have in the mind at the moment. I have the updated curriculum, the new curriculum, all those curriculums you might think of, produced effective and efficient labor force for the industry. This is evidenced by what people in South Africa are claiming. Zimbabweans are taking our jobs. You don't take other people's jobs if you are not efficient and effective. That one is an evidence, a clear evidence that Zimbabwe had produced cream in the labor market. That one is, so we cannot discredit the previous curriculum, saying the previous curriculum was not relevant. Yet it produced the best labor force in SADC region, if not Africa as a continent and the world as a continent. So we must appreciate what the previous curriculum had done. The only difference now is on the degree of focus. We are saying, let's intensify what was already being provided by the previous curriculum. We cannot say those who were educated using the previous curriculums are now relevant. We can't have that opinion. Honestly, yet the evidence is there. Look about the state of art infrastructure that we have, that we currently have, is a result of previous curriculum. So let's appreciate the previous curriculum, at the same time embrace the heritage-based curriculum. I strongly support the heritage curriculum. We are saying now let's increase our focus on our local environment and eliminate courses or degree program or diploma program that have nothing to do with Zimbabwe. That's what we are only saying. Let's eliminate or let's reduce that have nothing to do with Zimbabwe. But I'm sure there is no course or degree or diploma that has nothing to do with Zimbabwe, although that's a claim. What we can say is it might be less relevant, not say it's completely irrelevant. Maybe we might say the degree of relevance. But what I know is all those degree programs, all those learning areas were all relevant. Maybe we can say they need to be updated. Yes. So that's all I have for you today. That the previous curriculums were also relevant, but the heritage-based curriculum is only updating so as to suit the new trends. Is only updating, and also learning American history, European history. There's nothing wrong about it. What is wrong is abandoning our own history. We learn our own history first. After mastering our own history, then we go to the international history, so that we are able to merge the two, the local and the international, because we do not want Zimbabwe only to focus on things at local level. We want to focus both at local level and international level. We want Zimbabwe to be competent at international level. If we study that America is introducing sophisticated airplanes or military equipments, there's nothing wrong about that. And in Zimbabwe, we can also say now, in the international world, other countries are doing this and this, so let us also do that, or even better. Because when you start something, the idea is to do the same and also better than that. That's my view, which of course is subject to subjectivity. You can also have your own views, but that's my view. There's nothing wrong about embracing international aspects. We learn other people's technology, then we develop our own. We develop our local technology, and we also develop other people's technology, so that we come with the best. That's my view. I'm not against foreign technology, neither am I against local technology. All I am saying is let us not isolate local knowledge from international knowledge, and also let us not isolate international knowledge from local knowledge. Let's combine the two and move with the best, then develop. We go a step further. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe.